Oh my goodness gracious. It is another beautiful sunny Saturday here in St. Paul, Minnesota. And it is time for another episode of your favorite podcast. It is The Score, where we talk about arts and culture through our queer black lenses. I am your co-host, as always, Rocky Jones. I'm here with the delightful Paige Reynolds, the wonderful Dr. Lee Bynum. How are you both doing today?
Doing quite well.
Oh, good.
Doing quite well.
Oh, good.
Not as good as I was on that day that me and Rocky went out to dinner
Okay,
recently.
okay, that was going
And
to be my
had-
pure black joy
Oh,
because
okay. I will wait. I will wait.
because I have things to say about that dinner. That dinner has been on my mind for the past 10 days or so.
Same,
Yeah. Okay. That's going to be
same. It
pure
was a
black
spiritual
joy. That's going to be
experience.
pure indigenous joy. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
pure everyone
Hallelujah.
joy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Doc,
doing good, but not as good as I was on that day.
that is, yes, that is true. Oh my God. I woke up the next day. I was full of
Ooh,
life. Ah,
rejuvenated.
oh my
Mm.
goodness. Anyway, hi, Dr. Bynum. How are you?
So
Enough
y'all
about our
y'all are
meal.
going places and not inviting people?
Oh,
Hmm,
good. Oh, good.
hmm,
Unlike my
I see.
cat.
I see.
And how are things in New York?
Um, New York is just fine. We are doing well, fighting a good fight against the evil billionaires up here.
Love that for
Hmm.
you.
Things are
Love to see
wonderful in
it.
Mom Donnie stand. I hate for all you people who have to live in places that are not New York.
Well, I mean, St.
Eh.
Paul isn't so bad.
No, I've been there before. It ain't New York, honey.
Well, our mayor is fine. Her last name is literally her.
I'm gonna remain neutral. We're comparing apples to oranges here. There's two completely different vibes.
Yes,
And I love them both. And I do miss New York,
I
actually,
do
though.
miss New York.
I
I
really
Our
do.
mayor
Bad.
is fine. So, I don't even know what y'all's mayor look like, but our mayor's doing just fine.
We shall not speak on my mayor
I'm not gonna, yeah.
or their mayor. Let me not even say my mayor.
Let me not get personal. You
Mm-mm.
know, we don't need this to turn into Real Housewives of Atlanta. But it's very exciting. Did you all hear the news? According to Justice Alito, we have moved on past racism as a society. Isn't that exciting?
Oh, thank God.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Now we can
Oof.
breathe. Mm.
What a
Yeah.
relief.
Yeah. Tell
Well,
my grandmama we made it.
I guess this
Yeah.
is the last episode of this of the score. It's been so nice spending these last 5 years with all of you.
Can wrap it up now that our rainbow utopia is here.
Ah,
Um, the work is done. Congrats,
the work is
everybody.
done. Great job,
Hmm.
everyone. Great job.
Hmm.
Good God. Okay. Well, we don't want to, you know, be be depressing today because it is such a lovely sunny day, and you all know what's going on and you all know the bullshit that's happening. So we want to sort of focus on some other things that perhaps have not been getting as much shine today, this week, in the news. And, I guess we can start off with, as an arts and culture podcast, I guess Dr. Lee Bynum, I will turn my attention to you because the Tony nominations came out this week. A quarter of the EGOT. How exciting! So important. But you were there in New York, our reporter on the ground, and you, of course, work in the industry. And so I'm just curious to see what your reaction is. Is there anything that you are surprised by? Any snubs? Anything you saw this season that, you really felt like should have gotten some recognition? Yeah, just what are your thoughts?
Well, I would say I was glad to see Cats got a little bit of love. I think Cats
Hmm.
could have gotten more love than it did, but I was happy about that for sure. Um, I also was very excited for Liberation, one of the best plays I've seen in the last couple of years. Won the Pulitzer this week. And also the director, African American woman named Whitney White, was nominated for Best Director, and that was a joy to see because we do not see enough women being nominated in that category, and we almost
Hmm.
never see women of color being nominated. So that was a really, really lovely moment. On a slightly more personal note, um, I have had the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with a group called The Rescues. They're a rock band, and they have written their first Broadway score for The Lost Boys, and that was
Oh.
nominated. And big shout to the three of them. You know, I, it's going to come as quite a shock to everybody watching the show. I don't know anything about rock music, but I've enjoyed getting to know them and getting to hear their music and learn a bit about the show and see a diverse rock group getting this kind of uh, attention for a show. So yeah, excited to see what happens with the Tonys, like with the other major Guild Award shows. I am not holding my breath. I am expecting to be not seeing all the people I want to win, because that is
Hmm.
usually the drill. But excited to see who was nominated and wish everybody some luck. Well, maybe not everybody. Wish many of them luck. And yeah.
Yeah, because I guess being outside of New York, I feel like last year with like Mary and Audra and Nicole Scherzinger and all that, like there was so
Kara
much like
Young,
kind of
don't forget her.
who?
Kara Young.
Oh yeah, and of course Carrie Young. How could I forget Carrie Young? The amazing Carrie Young. Yeah, there was so much like sort of excitement going on outside of New York around
Yeah.
like the this last year's Tony season. But it just kind of seems like this year it's like a little bit more muted.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I think this is one of those years where there were a lot of celebrities who did Broadway shows,
Hmm.
and almost none of them were nominated. And
Oh.
I think that has I think there's a direct relationship between when are bold-faced names that, your average Joe and Jonelle in, I don't know, St. Paul going to recognize. And then if you are like a hardcore theater goer in the city, whose names are you excited to see? And more of the conversation has been around, like Josh Henry and Casey Levy being nominated for Ragtime, these sort of theater stalwarts with these very long-term careers who have never won Tonys before. And, I like that too.
Hmm.
Right. And I think I especially like it for the Tonys. No shade to all the famous people who have aspirations to do a Broadway show for one reason or another. But when I think about people who have elected to make their entire careers on the stage and who may or may not have, a lane for them in Hollywood. I think it's really important that they get this kind of recognition from the industry, from their peers. So I'm especially excited for seeing how that shakes out. But yeah, then I think then everybody else is probably going to be a little bit less invested in what that is. Um, But yeah, it feels the Tonys feel differently personal this year, which is a nice
Hmm.
thing, I think.
It's like a little hug for the New York theater community.
Oh, absolutely. And I think seeing in particular Temptress Chastity Moore, who plays Grisabella in Cats, a trans actress, get this kind of acknowledgement has also been, you know, pretty amazing. I think these
Yay.
kinds of moments matter a lot to kids. And I know that as a little young me, if this had been the kind of thing that it could have happened in the early to mid 90s, I think it would have really shifted my thinking about what was possible for my own career. And I think I probably would have stayed in performing a lot longer. I certainly enjoyed it, but I got drawn out of it because I kind of felt like there are no routes for
Yeah.
me. And unless I want to play some character with a tragic ending, because realistically, I was never going to be the kind of person who's going to get the roles that were being offered to black males, playing the third weed dealer on the left on Law and Order. I didn't think there was anything that I was going to be able to do. So I said, oh, I should
Mm.
probably focus on writing and directing. And I made that shift. And I don't think that was a bad thing. I feel very, very good about my career where it is, but I do recognize the importance of being able to see people in whom you can see yourself out there. So I found that to be really, really meaningful. So
I
Yeah.
really, really feel that, Lee.
Me too. Me too.
Deeply. I know we
Absolutely.
all have performance backgrounds, and I shied away from it for the exact same reasons.
Hmm.
Like the option seemed very narrow for
mhm.
people who live in my kind of body. And so, yeah, I think it is encouraging to see cases where like people who uh I don't know, are just not what we're fed as the what the star looks like in
Yeah.
mainstream media, you know. It's very, I think it's wonderful to see them like experiencing success, being like really recognized for the hard work they put in, for their talent, for yeah, just by their peers, especially what
hmm
it means to come for it to come from your peers. I mean, that's even part of why I'm honestly here in Minnesota. Is something I've thought about, is just like how you can um be recognized by a local community of peers, and how that like means that
Mm.
means a lot.
Hmm.
Um and a diversity of people, a
Yes.
wide, deep diversity of people being able to be living, working artists whose work is appreciated. Um, that gives me a lot of hope. And I sometimes wish I could go and tell my younger self, like, hey, there are avenues out there. Like you can carve a path. And will it be easy? No.
No, 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 no.
Do you
But
get to do it the way the white girl does it? No. But
I had a teacher when I was very, very young, um, a theater teacher, who told me, was just like, I'm just gonna level with you. Like, you just are probably never gonna be like the leading man. You're always gonna have to play these sort
mm,
of smaller character parts, just sort of given, what you look like, your body type, da 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 da, all these things.
Damn.
And and I think he was sort of like coming at it from just sort of like, I mean, it was the 90s and like sort of radical honesty
Right.
and like whatnot, but it was some bullshit, looking back
sure.
on it. And, I moved to New York because I was just kind of, a very headstrong young man, when I was, in my late teens. And I kind of got into it and just sort of, decided, much like you were talking about, Lee, to just sort of pivot, um, and to pivot into music, where I felt like, I could be sort of the 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 person who was sort of controlling everything. I was the one who was writing the material that I was performing. I wasn't, deciding whether or not I got to be the person on stage performing whatever it is that I was performing, that I was the one who was in control of it.
Mhm.
Um, but I do feel like perhaps if I hadn't had that conversation, because like I do sometimes, even now, like 30 years later, Jesus Christ, um still like hear like that little voice in my head sometimes that's like, oh yeah, you're never gonna be, that quote unquote leading man, whatever. And I have to like actively like tell that voice to like shut up so that I can do whatever it is that, I'd like, I want to do. And sometimes I'm more successful doing that than others, but I do feel like if there were more examples, like
Mhm.
when I was younger, when I was having that conversation with that teenager, and I could have been like, okay, well, you say that, but what about so and so? And what about so and
Mhm.
so? And what about so and so over here? They just got nominated for a Tony. I
Mhm.
feel like that would have been a very, very different conversation. And I feel like I could have moved into, you know, my career like on a very different footing, I guess. Um, so I'm excited though for the next generation
Yeah.
that they
Very.
that they have this, and I'm excited for the art that's gonna come, because like no matter, what sort of, the politicians have to say about it, you know, the art will continue to grow like a flower through the pavement.
Yeah. And we're
Mhm.
still here.
And we're still
I
here and we're
think
always
as
going to be here.
much as people are trying to erase us from everything, from the face of this earth, from being able to participate in our own political system, from being taught in schools, from being on TV, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. We have always been here, and we will continue making our presence known and clearly continue being copied. And that is what that is. So,
Amen.
Yep.
Uh, so what else happened this week while we were away? The Met Gala happened.
oh, that was a mess, y'all.
It was a mess. Ooh, and I feel like the theme was so, dare I
Whack.
say, well, whack, but also easy,
Oh,
like art and fashion,
yeah.
or fashion as art, whatever it was.
That should be like a easy home run. What?
Hmm.
But some of these,
That was the thing.
I
Okay.
mean, some of these celebrities, I just, it reminds me of what my dad would say when he would see somebody in a terrible outfit. My, oh, no, actually, happy heavenly birthday for yesterday, Dad.
Aw.
Oh, happy
Yes,
birthday.
yes. But my Taurus father had lots of opinions about people's clothes, and when somebody left the house looking a mess, he would say, "It's not what they have on, it's what did they go in the store and ask for."
Mhm.
And
Didn't mean to
so
look like that.
and so it's like, Cardi, what did you call up the designer and ask for? Love you down, girl. But what was that? That tumor dress?
That's
I actually really didn't mind it.
Really?
I really, really didn't. I actually liked a lot the silhouette of it. The I agree with you that it did look like some kind of, I don't know, like a very stunning thing that came up off of a petri dish.
I
But
mean,
you
the
know,
the
it
growth.
Yeah, if it had been in a color, everything would have
Hmm.
been fine. But it wasn't, I mean, for me, it was one of the least offensive things that I saw because so much of the other stuff to me was either just super boring,
Hmm.
like Nicole Kidman. I feel like she probably goes to the supermarket in what she had on. Like I didn't get why this was what she wore to the Met Gala, or some of it was just like I don't know, like a touch of editing might have been okay. And I get, the Met Gala is where, as a designer, you can go to places where you may not be able to go otherwise and, really experiment and, you know, I, but that doesn't mean make something ugly.
And that's the thing. I think so often, like, the heated rivalry boy, the one I still have
The
not
one with
watched
the
that
eye
show.
makeup.
Yes!
I'm,
What
I'm
was
going to say,
that?
I actually didn't, again, I actually didn't mind it
I
that
didn't mind the
much.
idea of it, but the execution.
Yeah. I mean, but there was, I don't know, there were so many other things that I saw that were just either actively boring or I just really didn't just really didn't get it. Like really didn't get it. And I'm not used to
Yeah.
really not getting things like what Dochi had on. Like I
Yeah.
didn't understand it. Like and I paused on it a couple of times because I was like, I probably could get it. Maybe it's not photographing well, maybe it's the angle. Same thing with Rihanna's outfit. Like
I
I feel
didn't,
like I
it wasn't, yeah.
it didn't communicate in the pictures. I'll bet it looked
No.
different in person, but it just didn't communicate in pictures. Serena's outfit I felt like was not.
Ooh.
I didn't again, I didn't get it. I just
So
really
much
didn't
of
get it.
this was not doing it for me.
Yeah.
Just
And
wasn't doing it.
I
And
usually love everything Serena wears, so I was actively surprised by not liking this. Because I love a little leg.
and I found SZA's outfit to be a little much.
It was a maximalist look for
It
sure.
was. It
No,
was.
it was a
Yeah.
more is
Yeah.
more kind of look for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But do we think it would have been better without the headpiece? Or was that the least of the challenges from where you sat? Because I love the color.
The color is beautiful on her. I think I get a little, I don't know. It felt a little with the headpiece, with the wings, with the sparkles, with the everything. I don't know. It just felt a little like princess dress. You know what I mean?
Child
It
Princess of
was more
what?
like
Costumey, you
costumey,
know?
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
think that feels also kind of related to the theme. But hers is another one where I'm like, this might hit different in person because of the
Hmm.
embroidery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
embroidery all up on this thing that probably is way different when you're looking at it in person. Oh, I don't know. Part of me feels like, they're really giving us bread and circuses in this moment, but
Yes.
Woo!
also the
Yes.
bread is getting low and expensive, and the circuses are no longer as entertaining. The
No.
circuses are
Yeah.
getting worse
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
It's just
I think
hard to
that's what's sad.
reconcile why why this right now, given everything that's happening. And it's not to say that like people aren't supposed to, still have fun. I have fun all the time. Um, it's I don't know. Maybe the media shouldn't cover it. or something. There's just something that's so tonally off to me about I don't know that I'd be able to wrap my mind around going to something like this in this particular moment.
Well, it's like it's what? It's $100,000 a ticket. Like if you're a designer, it's like what, $500,000 to like, buy a table. All these people in these like ridiculously like ugly and expensive gowns and tuxedos and suits and whatever you want to call these garments. Going into the Met, um, for this like secret party that we only get to like sort of access through the runway in order to sort of it feels very Gilded Age, like when they used
Yeah.
to like walk down the
Hmm.
streets like promenading like in their outfits, and like the plebes got to like look and point and whisper to each other about their outfits or whatever. It 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 just it it feels very strange right now when like gas is like $70,000 a gallon to like
Hmm.
watch like the stars of heated rivalry go to the secret party at the Met that they paid $150,000 to get. Like the outfit alone, is, a year's worth of, a regular person's rent. Like it all feels gross.
Yeah.
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 Knowing that all of this, the bill, part of the bill was footed by like Jeff Bezos because his
Yeah.
new wife wants like socialite friends.
Very Gilded Age.
Like
I mean,
it's very Gilded
literally
Age.
a subplot from Gilded Age.
Oh my gosh. Nobody wants to watch the Rockefeller Ball right now. We don't have food. We can't afford rent. Fuck.
And I think maybe that's what pisses me off so much about it when I think about it, because it's like Connor Story was wearing like a camisole and some pants that cost like $50,000. And it's like at least like make it like look good and exciting. Like if we're gonna sit here and watch this and think about like our, plebeian existences, like at least give me something to feast on, you know? Give me some brioche. Don't give me this Wonder Bread.
My eyes are starving for beauty. Oh my
Yes, rest in peace,
God.
Andre.
I think they're trying to tell us though that we're so broke, we don't even know what is beauty. We have no idea what fashion is.
Oof.
Mm.
They're like, y'all, you don't understand. I put on this throw rug and this orthopedic shoe, and I came out here in this because I know fashion, and y'all broke asses do not.
Don't talk
So
Yeah.
about Beyonce like that with the throw rug.
hers was another one of the ones that when I first saw it, I was like, well, I mean, I see what you're doing. But I do wonder if in person I would have liked it better when I could have seen all of the sparkles.
Yeah,
Like I
I
kind of
mean, I
wow.
think the color maybe just didn't read.
Yeah.
It
I
looked
wanted to be more
Wow.
moved
very,
by it.
yeah. It
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
looked very sort of like dirty dishwater sort of color. I mean, I'm just saying, I love you down, Beyonce. Um, but like it just didn't read the fabulosity of it.
Yeah.
Now, Blue Ivy,
Hmm.
however.
I wouldn't. I thought she looked great. Um, but again, I don't know. Like there have been Met Galas in the past. I don't know when the world wasn't falling apart, maybe,
Mm,
where I have seen somebody in something and it like literally took my breath away.
right.
And I thought what Blue had on, I thought it was really pretty. And if I saw her like on the red carpet somewhere in that, I'd be like, oh wow, she looks fantastic. But here, I want to have my mind blown. But I guess at the minute where Zendaya was like, I'm staying home, and Law was like, I'm going to walk the red carpet instead, I should have known exactly what time it was.
I feel like I've been seeing La Rouge everywhere lately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
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 She's a mean old woman.
I didn't need to hear a whole lot more from him. I wanted
Yeah.
the looks, the styling, some fashion commentary here and there. I don't know if we need to be putting a mic in front of him all
Mm-mm.
the time.
Mm-mm.
I I just don't think so. But
But
that's where
like,
we're at again.
I guess that's where
Circuses
we're at. I guess that's where we're
are
at.
low quality these days.
The bread circuses, the
Yeah.
jesters.
Moldy bread and a sideshow. Not even a full
Hmm.
circus.
Mm-mm.
Mm. Oh my goodness. And I just bemoan the state of men's fashion. I just want
Oof.
I want something fun. I want something interesting. I want like we were talking about, like the fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why can't we have like, some visionary, exciting, colorful, innovative men's fashion? That's
I
my
think
fantasy.
I feel like people struggle in men's fashion with who it's for.
Hmm.
Um, because every once in a while you will see somebody who's like not afraid to put together a little piece of look. And the, either obviously they're going to assail the person's sexuality, like
Right.
with like a Harry Styles kind of thing, or put the whole thing on their sexuality, like Home and Domingo, right?
Hmm.
Instead of just kind of saying, there are some people who inhabit these bodies who actually want to make a statement with their clothes. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there are some people who are going to design for those people who want to make a statement with their clothes. And then the rest of y'all can continue to wear whatever, you know, regular, boring sports coat and slacks that you're going to wear, and the world will be fine. But I think we're still really trying to reconcile that, you know, men may want to be seen in clothes that are interesting. Like we struggle with so many things over here in America. So many of the most basic things that don't have to be the kind of struggles that they are. But
I just, you are so right. I just look at the rest of the world, and it's not like everyone has it all figured out,
mm-mm.
but it just seems like the basics. Like single payer healthcare. Wait, what? Maybe,
Or God forbid the government just pick up the tab for it because, you know, it's a good thing for everybody.
or maybe, more than two parties in your governmental system.
Well, now you're talking crazy.
Okay, I guess.
Or how about just having a clear concept of what a government even is and what it is for? It is not for the purpose of lording over people, but imagine it being for actually governing, as in making sure that the societal resources are all distributed, making sure that people are taken care of, making sure we have uh, civilization running smoothly. I think other places maybe seem to understand what the purpose of a government is. It's actually not inherently just a top down, these are the people who tell you what to do and who withhold resources and start wars and run a military. It's supposed to be about a system that collectively cares for the people. That's what a government's supposed to be for. I don't think.
Blasphemy!
I want the government to oppress me with my own money.
I have noticed, I don't remember if I've talked about this on the show, but I had this experience once, and it really uh, sort of uh, brought things into focus for me. I just think that like white Americans are kind of just socialized. Like when you say like, I would like the government to listen to us, they interpret the word listen as obey rather than
Hmm,
just like
hmm,
listen.
hmm.
Here are the words that are coming out of my mouth and like let's engage in a dialogue and then move forward accordingly. It's like listen to me means listen to me. O- Obey me. And they don't want to do that because they are the ones who give the orders.
Period.
But that's just what I've noticed. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Well, I hope they all enjoyed their their party. I hope it was
I hope
fun.
some of them enjoyed it. I hope some of them had a terrible time.
You know what I do love? I do love when you get those pictures of all the people like smoking cigarettes in the bathroom in the Met. I don't know why that always tickles me. So what else have we got going on? A
Woo, woo, child. Little bit of everything.
little bit of everything.
Little bit of
Mhm.
everything. Um, this could go in pure black joy, but I haven't seen it yet, so that's not why I'm not gonna put it there. You mentioned the Tonys. We mentioned the Tonys earlier, which also made me think about other playwrights I'm really excited about, and particularly playwrights who have movies coming out. Have
Oh,
y'all seen the trailers for Is God Is?
no.
No, but I've been reading about it.
Oh, bitch. Oh, yeah. That's gonna be good. This is going to be the Black Girl Kill Bill of my dreams.
Oh, wait, I did see the trailer. I forgot. Yes. Okay, yes. Yes, 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 yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's got
Mm-hmm.
the best
Um,
cast of any movie coming out in the
Mm-hmm.
next year, easily.
off that alone. That alone. Okay, carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Hmm.
uh is it Vivica Fox who's playing that
Dame
mother?
Vivica Fox,
Oh my
Janelle
gosh.
Monáe,
Mm-hmm.
Erica Alexander, who is having the career renaissance of a lifetime.
We love it.
Deserves.
Absolutely deserved.
Yeah, that's gonna be fantastic, I'm
Yeah,
sure. I'm quite
yeah.
excited. And shout out to Alicia Harris, who wrote
Yes.
it, wrote the play, is directing the film, I believe. Um, yeah, I've seen other work of theirs and really enjoyed it. So, yeah, shout out to having
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
writers in these
Yes.
films, okay? Um, I'm just I don't know, reasons to maintain hope. Like I said, not the bread and circuses, the mainstream bread and circuses are getting worse and worse. But there be these glimmers of hope out there. Like a Is God Is, and I'm excited for I Love Boosters too, another
Mm-hmm.
Boots Riley film. We're right on time for
Yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because I don't know the full plot, but it's going to be a commentary on capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes. Yes. And
yep,
another one with a like a hell of a good cast.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited for these things coming up.
And I mean, I guess that's the theme for today. Trying to have a little bit of hope, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hope for
Yeah.
artistry,
Oh, for
especially, and
artistry.
yeah,
Yeah.
originality.
yeah,
Like sometimes the AI slop just gets me a little down in the dumps. I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wow, do we value the artistic process at all? Damn. Do we
No, no.
We
Barely
de
value the product.
shit.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just nice to see things that are original and have intention. Uh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um I am debating whether to bring up the not so hopeful things that are in the news as well.
Do what you gotta do.
But yeah, I am noticing all the conversations about black femicide that are being
Mm,
Mm.
highlighted lately. Um and it definitely pisses me off. Has been pissing me off before this moment though. Uh because there's not like a sudden uptick.
Hmm.
yeah.
That's not what's happening.
Right.
We are in a moment of higher visibility, a moment of, a topic being illuminated, going viral, um, as the news cycle kind of goes, especially with social media. So I'm glad that things have turned to this topic at this point because femicide has been a huge problem, I
Hmm.
would say in general in a patriarchal society, but
Hmm.
we know, especially among Black women,
Hmm.
and we know that it is most often people close to them, most often intimate partners, family members, um, not like I think about how often people think of uh abuse of different kinds, violence of different kinds happening from, someone random or, dark alley kind of someone runs up on you or you get trafficked or things like that. But all of that happen actually, all of the most violence happens with people who are close to us,
Hmm.
Hmm.
unfortunately. And
Hmm.
so, um, with that said, I'm also glad that it's being brought up uh, intra-communally among Black folks. And some people really being loud about how patriarchy it has manifested in our community, being really loud about how just everyone's disregard for Black women and girls has uh, been manifesting. And people have been loud about this for a long time. Again, this is not new. Especially Black women and girls. Like I know so many who have been organizing for their own communities, who have been doing some form of activism for their own communities, but mainstream media just doesn't pick up on it, or gets treated as isolated incidents, or that, of course, all the victim blaming that happens in
Hmm.
that arena too. um that's how it's usually brought up. So this moment feels like just a little bit different, and I'm glad for that. I'm glad for that. The topic is heavy. The topic
Yeah.
is like, probably, I'm going to guess, probably impacts all of us in some way, someone in our
Hmm.
life, and maybe even ourselves, um, witnessing, violence against Black women and girls specifically, or just femme presenting people in general too. Um, we know that there's further conversations to be had too within Black queer communities as
Hmm.
well. And just because we queer don't mean that we don't internalize patriarchal violence too. Unfortunately, we do.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm wondering what y'all's thoughts are. Again, for me, it's like it's heavy, but I'm glad more is being brought to the it's being brought to the forefront, and maybe there's even a different level of fed upness that's
Hmm.
coming along with it.
Mhm.
We need to be more fed up, a little more angry. I'm actually here for that. But I'm wondering what y'all think.
I do think we are. First, I'm glad that you broached this as a thing for the show because I feel like you can't bring enough attention to it. And in my social circle, we talk a lot about the violence against Black trans women being higher and
Mhm.
higher in a moment where we're talking about violent crime going down, right? And
Mhm.
the sort of both cognitive dissonance and concern about the intentionality of putting out that kind of messaging when we know that that is not the whole story, to me is deeply, deeply concerning. So I'm really glad that we're able to spend a little bit of time on this. I don't think people are getting angry enough, but I do think we are sort of moving to a place where there are more people in positions of influence who can bring this up continually. And I think that's the thing that actually is going to force the conversation to become differently mainstream. And I think that's something that we need. We don't talk enough about it. We're not doing enough about it. And I feel like as a Black community, I don't know why this isn't the like crisis of our time. Like I
Mhm.
actually don't. This is something that affects all of us. It affects
Yeah.
all of our families, and we should all be mobilized around reduce eliminating this as a phenomenon, right? But I think
Well,
this
yes,
really
absolutely.
Mhm.
still gets to this idea about we love our sons and we raise our daughters, and we're just
Yeah.
not able we're not able to prioritize things when it comes to women in our community. We're just not.
And
Mhm.
I feel like we owe the women in our community so much. There's so much that, you know, Black women do both inside the community and outside the community that sort of, you know, I hate to put so much onus pressure, but like, I mean, like serious, like just to save ourselves from ourselves,
Yeah.
to lift us
No,
up,
literally. Yeah.
to literally to lift us up, to move us forward. Um, like there is such a debt of gratitude that we owe all of the women in our community, and to see these issues sort of get swept under the rug for so long is infuriating because I think
Yeah.
about, you know, all of the women and, femme presenting folks in our community, but especially the ones who are close to me, who I know have been, the victims of heinous, horrible things, crimes, violence, emotional warfare, just sort of being overlooked, and ignored. Um, and I mean, I don't have words for just how just awful it is, and how awful it is to watch, um, sort of this conversation kind of often get punted, um, and so that we're having this conversation, and I'm so glad that we're able to have this conversation right now, on the show, and I hope we continue to have this conversation, as this conversation evolves, um, and eventually, come close to, a solution and solving the problem. And I hope we can be a part of that.
It's
Mhm.
always weird to me to think about. how everybody loves their mama, but also hates women.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
every once in a while, I'll end up on one of those late night internet rabbit holes where I am watching some of these podcasts that are directed towards young men, and a lot of them, d despite the sort of white supremacist angle, are still directed towards young black men, young Latine men, et cetera, et cetera. And like misogyny doesn't even begin to get to a
Oof.
accurate
It's
description of
horrifying.
what
It
they're
is
doing.
terrible. And it seeps into your algorithms and timelines
Hmm.
so easily. Like you can
Hmm.
tell it's intentionally being pushed. And I want to rescind something I said earlier because I said there's not like necessarily an increase. Because actually there is. There is
There
an increase
is.
Yeah,
in violence.
yeah.
There has always been disproportionate rates among Black women in particular, but there is an increase across the board, especially with yeah, the rise of the manosphere
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
all of that. And I think for a long time people were underestimating how much that was reaching Black men
Hmm.
and Black boys and Black
Hmm.
boys before they even get
Hmm.
to that frontal lobe don't even be developed before
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
gets into their minds. And now I really know this from having like lived with a Black teenage boy for a whole year. My own
Ooh,
nephew,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
child, they are, you can, it's kind of disturbing because you can be teaching a child one thing when in your home or whenever you're with them, and be doing your best to uh be a to be just a good human and model good values for them. You can talk to them about like what's going on in their life and what they're seeing in media, and you know, think that they're being maybe surrounded by positivity, by people who are anti-racist, by people who are feminists, by people who are anti-capitalist or whatever. But the media is getting to
Mm.
them on a
Hmm.
whole different
Hmm.
level
Oh,
because it's what
absolutely.
they're watching, it's what their peers are watching too, and like what's being enforced in those arenas, what's the social norm among their friends. Like it is, I think it's especially tough for people
Yeah.
raising boys right now.
Well, and
And
it and
then,
it's by design, right?
Yeah,
absolutely,
You
yeah.
know,
yeah.
like you can raise them in a home where, we're talking around the dinner table or about, equity and misogyny and all of that, anti-racism, all of that. And then they go in the room and they pull out the iPad or they pull out the phone, not
Yep,
to sound like Uncle Rocky,
Hmm.
but it's true.
but they pull out the iPad.
Yeah, they get on that game. They get on that game.
They get on that game and they go to YouTube, and then like the whole point of the algorithm is to like keep them, watching for hours and
Mhm.
hours, going deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole where like then all of a sudden like you can do whatever you want, and like you've got, a little Nazi over here.
Yeah.
And it's by design because like, they want to sell them advertising. And so it's just like how low can we get them to go? And it just doesn't seem like there's any bottom. And, now here we are, paying the price, and especially women in our society are paying the price for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's shocking that all of these things are happening and people, as long as they are making money, are just like, well, this is fine. Like literally the world is on fire, but as long
Yeah.
as these billionaires are making money, like they don't care who they're hurting. They don't care who they're destroying. And it just
Literally.
seems like that black women in so many different arenas, like, in the job market, when it comes to, the violence that we're talking about, when it comes to just living, breathing, like are paying the price.
Hmm.
Mhm.
The thing that you know, Lee, when you said earlier, the thing that always gets me is like black men who are like, I didn't really realize the scale of the problem until I had a daughter.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
That's the one that drives me crazy. Because it's like
mm.
you couldn't see that 51% of the population over here are human beings who deserve respect, who deserve to live their lives peacefully until you had a daughter. Cool, cool, cool,
So
cool, 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 cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
not to
And
get us, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I think there's also this with this uh sway towards even more conservative values, not
Hmm.
even just a sway, a strong step, not just politically, but now we're seeing it in media and fashion and
Hmm.
across the board. It's trendy to be a skinny white woman again.
Mhm.
um I think about how patriarchy is so violent in like enforcing these hierarchies and enforcing these standards that most Black women naturally fall outside of.
Mm.
And
Mm.
and I think that increasingly Black women, Black queer folks, Black trans folks are also seen as being uh deviant or just not able to obey and won't just,
Hmm.
sit
Mhm.
down, shut up, be quiet, shrink ourselves. Um, and how there are people who respond to that with more violence. Um, and I think as we, keep going rightward in all aspects, I worry about that violence just increasing. Um, in all kinds of ways. I not just the like outright physical violence, but emotional, psychological in the workplace, in medical settings, in whatever systems we have to navigate when people are like socialized to just see you as unruly or combative or
Inhuman.
right, inhuman. um there People can really make things challenging.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So I think about that a lot, and I think that's part of the moment. Is just, we still refuse to shrink ourselves, and some people cannot handle that. They cannot handle that. Some people be deeply jealous of that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
A lot of people be deeply jealous of that. Like, how dare you? How dare you still be walking with your head up high, looking as different as you are, being as different as you are. You're not a skinny white woman or you're not wealthy. How dare you demand dignity? How dare you stand in your dignity? How dare you stand in your humanity? And how dare you not try to fit in? Like, what do you think you doing standing out and asserting your individuality and your rights?
Mhm.
What?
They deeply want to be able to do that, and they can't
Yeah, yeah,
without risking, losing their whole communities, their livelihoods, their whatever it is that they hold dear.
yep, yep. And then they turn that on us.
And then they turn it on us.
Hmm. Well,
Well, that's depressing.
yeah.
Well, how do y'all feel?
I was gonna try to come with a solution with a silver lining. I don't know if I got it right now, except
If you
go get your
have
permit to carry. I don't know.
Oh Second Amendment warriors over here.
Hmm.
No, for real.
Well, what do you all say to a little bit of pure black joy?
Let's do it. It's
All
about that
right,
time.
let's do it. We'll be right back with pure black joy. All right, and we are back with Pure Black Joy. This is the segment of the show where we always like to end things on a positive note, even if we have been talking about things that are incredibly depressing, like today. But this is the segment where we talk about the Black people, places, culture, music, food, art that is making us happy this week. And my pure black joy this week, as I mentioned at the top of the show, is a little bit of pure black joy, but also a whole lot of pure indigenous joy. And I have to thank you, Paige. I really do. Because in our last program we were talking about me sort of being in my cocoon for the last couple of years and how I'm ready to emerge and not sort of isolate myself, after all of these years of grief. And so Paige texted me, not last week, but the week before, and said, "Hey, I'm going out to dinner with some friends. One person can't go. The reservation's for four. Do you want to join?" And of course, my nervous system went, "No! Stay on the couch in your sweats. What if you do something stupid? What if you say something stupid? What if you accidentally trip and stab someone in the eye with a fork? Everyone will hate you. You will lose everything. You will die on the streets alone."
No.
And I said, "Nervous system, I hear you. I
Hmm.
validate everything that you're saying. You're probably right, but I'm gonna go ahead and accept this invitation." And boy, am I glad that I did.
Hmm.
Oh.
Because A, the company was lovely. Shout out to Maud, shout out to Eve. Maud, thank you so much for hosting us and for taking
Hmm.
such wonderful care of us and treating us to such an epic meal. My
Oof.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Awamni. Listen, okay, for those of you who don't know, Awamni is a restaurant here in the Twin Cities. Uh, and the concept is, focusing on Native American foods and techniques and ingredients that were indigenous to North America before the Europeans came, before the colonizers came. So there's no like sugar, there's no flour, there's no like dairy in the form of like bee like butter and milk, but also no beef, but there's like bison, so like that kind of dairy. I don't know if there's a different word
Mhm.
for like there's no bovine dairy. I don't know, whatever. um and I've been there a few times. The first time was right after they opened, and it was okay. It was fine. The second time I had a bunch of friends in for the Renaissance tour. We all went. It was a lovely summer day. We sat outside. The food was great. Still wouldn't, sort of, put it in like the top meals of all time. This time,
This time. Yeah.
top three, one of the top three meals I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
Hmm.
Ever. Ever. I have not been able to stop thinking about that bison ribeye with the crispy onions and the jalapenos.
Oh my God. I've thought about it every day, at least twice a day. Hmm.
The possibly the best thing, like vegetable, meat, human that I've ever put in my mouth. Like it, I
Ever.
ever,
Ever.
ever.
Uh, Whoever made that, uh, they really showed up to work that day. They were fully present. They had a good night's sleep. Um, I don't know if they got some the night before. I don't know if maybe everybody got a nice big bonus because it was the last day of Owamni being open. They're opening a new spot called Indigena though at in a building nearby. They'll be back open soon. But whatever it was, whatever it was, whoever made that bison ribeye was deep in their bag, deep in their telfar, deeply. And I'm so grateful.
I'm
I'm so
so good.
grateful.
Give
It was
them the Nobel
amazing.
Prize, give them the Pulitzer, give them the Oscar, give
Mm.
them the Congressional Medal of Freedom, Obama edition. Like, blessings to you, your family,
Mhm.
your four parents,
Mhm.
your entire line.
Absolutely.
I have never had a piece of meat that succulent and juicy and seasoned in my life.
Ever. It was
So
incredible.
so that is my pure black joy. That is my pure indigenous joy, Owamni. As soon as they open up again, y'all please go down there
Yep.
and give them their coins and enjoy their food because my God, today.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
God.
And y'all do a good little bowl of greens too.
Yes, you
Yeah, you do.
do. With that
Yeah, you
smoked
do.
turkey, I was
Yeah.
like, excuse me? And those yucca fries,
Yeah.
child.
Mm.
Mm, mm,
Mm-mm-mm.
mm. Okay.
They make
Let
no
me,
damn
let
sense.
me, let me, let me
Yep.
get myself back together. Anyone
Yep.
else? Hot and bothered. I'm flustered.
Yeah. Just also shout out to the old fashioned made with duck fat washed bourbon that I had as well. So
Ooh.
had to mention that.
Yeah. So, Lee, next time you're in town, if you ever decide to get on a plane and come here again, which I'm not holding out hope for, but we have to go.
Yeah, I love Owamne. It is I was able to go twice when I was living out there, and it was
Nice.
truly a highlight of the Minnesota experience. I encourage everybody, as they used to say, run, don't walk, down to the restaurant.
There you go. Absolutely. Um, well, I know, Paige, you also wanted to mention a little
Oh
something about friend of the
yes.
show, Janata Petras.
Yes, yes,
So I
yes.
wanted to make
Friend
sure
of
you
the
get that in
show.
before we go.
Thank you so much for the reminder. Yes, friend of the show, Janata Petrus. Brr, 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 brr. Our favorite queer Caribbean witch is doing a fundraiser at the moment. We're hoping you'll put 5 on it, put 10 on it, put 20 on it, put 50 on it. Shoot, put
Mhm.
1,000 on
Mhm.
it. I don't know. Maybe you got it like that. Um, she is going through some unfortunate legal situations regarding custody of her child, um, and some. Yeah, I want to show her some love. Want to show her some love as a Black queer mama, who is a fabulous mother. Her community can attest to this. The way she loves on that baby is healing to witness. Honestly, it heals my inner child. And so I would love to see um, her mutual aid fund supported fully so that she and her baby can be reunited. Um, so we're going to put that in the show notes for y'all. Please give something, please post at the very least, that would be great to share with others. And also, if you don't know Janata, she gives so much to our community.
Yeah.
And if you're ever in
Hmm.
physical space with her, or even shoot, just on the Zoom, y'all probably felt it. She is a person who just pours love into every space she enters.
Mm.
The vibe is automatically elevated when she is there. That is my experience of Janata. Um, and so would love to see her be poured back into as well. Someone who is just given so much. Um, yeah, yeah. Thanks, y'all. Thanks in advance.
Yeah, and if you're interested in hearing more from Janata, you can scroll back in the feed. I think we re-released Janata's episode of art class. I think it was in the fall. Perhaps it
Mm-hmm.
was before or after that. But Janata was the inaugural guest on the Lincoln Center edition of our show when we were in our art class era. And so we will be, forever indebted to Janata for taking a chance on on us and being just such an amazing guest and it was such a great conversation. So yeah, whatever y'all can do, we would appreciate. And we know Janata would appreciate it. But I think that's all we've got for today. As always, like, subscribe, leave us a review, 5 stars. Some words would be nice with that review, always helps us out. Especially on YouTube, because maybe we might get a little coin from that. But I think that's everything. Any words of wisdom before we go?
Yeah, everybody, check out that new season of Drag Race All Stars so you can know what I'm complaining about in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I have not watched the first episode yet. Did you watch it?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm trying to get my emotions ready first.
From what I'm seeing on Twitter, Akira is doing very well, but that's no surprise.
There's no surprise. She usually starts off really, really strong, so I'm not surprised at all by that.
Yes, yes. Well, hopefully that continues.
Yes.
And I'm sure we will have lots and lots and lots to say in
Mhm.
2 weeks.
Can't wait.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it. Thanks everybody for listening, for letting us come in your ear holes, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.